TV, an ad, TV ad.
Yeah.
Quarterback with Tim Wilson, the blocking back for the great Earl Campbell, and we'll be following Campbell's assault on that record book today. Mike Renfro and the double tight end system with Mike Barber and Dave Casper for the Oilers. And the offensive line, well, there you go again. Renfro with the two tight ends, Leon Gray, Bob Young, Carl Mock, Ed Fisher, and Mo Towns, and they have been outstanding opening holes for Earl Campbell. They come out in the double tight end, Casper left, Barber right, Renfro wide right. And it's Campbell. And he shoots all the way to the 29-yard line. So Campbell opens with his first carry, 9 yards. And we're going to give you a total for Campbell throughout the day. How many yards he gains? No one in NFL history has ever rushed 3 straight games 200 yards. Chavis, Carter, and Manor, the front 3 in the 3-4 defense of the Broncos. Nairn and Evans for the injured Swenson and Rizzo. Gradishar, great in the middle. Tom Jackson, outstanding speed. Wright and Kyle at the corners. Bill Thompson. Steve Foley has moved from cornerback to safety. 2nd and 1. Campbell has the first down +2, and it'll be first down. Oilers at the 32-yard line. Campbell already with 12 yards. Thompson and Nairn made the tackle.
Dick, Earl Campbell obviously feeling very much in the spotlight, getting off to a quick start. 2 powerful runs, the first to his left side, and he'll favor running over there behind the strong left side, especially Leon Gray. I think he has to rank as the outstanding offensive tackle in football today.
Brett Miller, the Denver Bronco coach, certainly reflected that to you yesterday. Stabler's first pass attempt is to Tim Wilson. And down goes a flag as Wilson is tackled at the 29-yard line. Reuben Carter from Miami of Florida made the stop. And now Stabler will look in on the conversation. It's holding against Houston.
It appeared that Bob Young was out there. Gradishar reading the play quickly. Young out there looked like he got his hands on him and pushed him away. That's going to be a costly penalty. Moving back close to the 20-yard line.
Saw Gradishar indicate to the bench a 10-yard penalty, but the play lost 3 yards and a loss of down, so that's why Gradishar had to think it over.
It would appear he's accepted the penalty. They'll mark it back.
Gene Barth, the referee. Here's the announcement.
63 offense, illegal use of the hands, still second down.
Chance for you to see it now. This is screen pass. Bob Young, number 63, pulling to the outside. You'll see him right there. You don't see the shot, except you saw Young pushing Gradishar to the ground. That's what they call. They call him with illegal use of hands, pushing Gradishar to the ground. March it off 10 yards.
Bob Young, at 38 years of age, the oldest man to start in the NFL. First down and 20, a flag down, complete to Barber, who is tackled at the 35-yard line by Tom Jackson. But we have another holding penalty against the Oilers.
Leon Gray is arguing the call. It was Gray on Bryson Manor. Bryson Manor shooting to the inside. Bryson told me before the game, he said, no one has had a great game against Leon. I'm going to try and beat him inside. Watch it right there, and Leon locks him up. You see number 74 hanging on to 66. Stabler got away, got the completion, but they're going to march it off.
That was a good call, because indeed, had Gray not interfered with a hold, his quarterback Stabler would have been sacked. So back-to-back holding penalties against Houston, and Stabler finds him first down and 30 from his own 12-yard line. Renfro right again, double tight end for the Oilers. Stabler on the draw to Campbell. Read well. Number 56, Larry Evans, from that inside linebacker spot, made the tackle after a short gain by Campbell. He picked up only 2 yards. That gives him 14 unofficially for this first quarter.
Dick, it appeared that Stabler was going to come out and try and control the ball running. All of a sudden, he started to put it into the air, and of course, the penalties put him in a situation where he almost had to pass. He's really got problems now. There aren't too many great plays for 2nd and 30.
2nd and 28 to be exact after the 2-yard gain. Renfro is on the left side. Good protection. Deep down the middle for Casper. And a first down at the 47-yard line. Steve Foley made the tackle. And what a throw by Stabler, but I believe we have another flag. No, they call it incomplete. 33 yards, they said. Casper didn't come down with the ball in possession.
Well, it certainly looked like a completion from here. We'll give you a chance to look at it. Dick, you said it right. All kinds of time to throw. Stabler leads Casper perfectly. Casper controls it in the air. It appeared he did drop it on the ground. He was hit hard. The ball dropped. He covered it well. That's a good call by the official who was there to see that ball hit the ground and bounce back.
And a good play by Steve Foley to force that incomplete pass, because indeed it appeared Casper had made one of his patented diving catches for a first down. 3rd and 28, and Stabler appears to be audibleizing. Rob Carpenter in motion. Stabler found an open spot. Barber was the closest white uniform, and the Broncos, helped by 2 offside calls, are about to get that ball, and this crowd on Orange Sunday in Denver very pleased by that first defensive show.
Red Miller obviously happy too. He knew coming into this game that his defense was going to have to play well. They were going to have to stop Earl Campbell. They were going to have to keep pressure on. They don't have the greatest defensive record in football. In fact, they're last in the AFC. They've certainly started this game properly.
Cliff Parsley from his own goal line kicks from the 5. Rick Upchurch, the NFL's all-time punt return yardage leader, at the 45, the 50, and hit at the 46-yard line by Darrell Hunt, number 50, the former Oklahoma star. Craig Morton brings the Denver offense onto the field, and with him in the backfield, Otis Armstrong. He's having a fine season. Jim Jensen as well. That's the best running tandem for the Broncos in a couple of years. Rick Upchurch, Haven Moses, the veteran, Riley Odoms at tight end. The offensive line in front of Morton: Studdard, Hyde, Bryan, Howard, and Claudia Minor. Hyde for the injured Tom Vlasic at left guard. We'll be watching him. And they come out in a double tight end. Morton to throw. Into the flat to Armstrong, 45, and down at the 44 as he was twisted down by 59 Ted Washington.
Rod Dowhauer has brought a short passing offense to Denver, similar to what is instituted in San Francisco and San Diego. They're isolating here to try and get Armstrong out on a single back one-on-one, or actually a backer in this case. Armstrong has the ball, and as we said, it is a one-on-one situation with Teddy Washington, number 59, who did an excellent job of bringing him down. Very short gain. It'll be second, quite a long yardage. 2nd and 8. Armstrong with 453 yards rushing going into this game. That was his total all of last year. And this is Armstrong skipping to the 40-yard line. He's short of the first down by 4. I want to repeat that. It's an interesting statistic. Armstrong all last year rushed for 453 yards. In this game, the halfway mark of the season, he has equaled last year's total. Defensively for the Oilers, Andy Doris, boy, he's come out of nowhere to become an outstanding defensive lineman. Ken Kennard, he's bumped Curly Culp in the middle. Elvin Bethea, the All-Pro, on the right side. Washington, Stringer, Bingham leading the team in tackles, and Brazil, the All-Pro, the linebackers. J.C. Wilson, Greg Stemrick, 2 small, light, quick cornerbacks with Reinfeld, who led the NFL in interceptions last year with 12, and Vernon Perry at the safeties. 4 from the 40, and it's Morton to throw. A screen. Jensen, 40, 35, first down at the 33. 8 yards to Jim Jensen, who is leading the Broncos in receptions with 33. Jensen is nursing a bad hand, but he's still an excellent pass receiver. Morton going to him on a little screen pass. We've seen screens from both teams now. Jensen jumping inside. Waits until the linemen clear. Pass right perfectly in his hands, and he does a good job of getting through the traffic and diving for that extra yardage. Big play. First down at the Oiler 32. Here comes Haven Moses in motion. Morton to throw. Quick out, incomplete. Oh, Otis Armstrong paying the price as Vernon Perry came up from safety to belt him down. We won't read Craig Morton's lips, but Morton not happy with that. Obviously in the hands of Otis, but Otis getting excellent coverage from a very aggressive safety. I think Vernon Perry has to be marked as one of the most aggressive safeties in the NFL, and was there to deliver the blow. Had Armstrong caught the ball, he wouldn't have gone anywhere. Morton, 37 years of age, 16th year in the league out of California, 2nd and 10.
Armstrong hit from behind. It appeared to be Brazil who caught him from the backside and dragged him down with assist going to Greg Bingham. But had it not been for the pursuit of Brazil from the backside, it appeared Armstrong had more yards.
Denver is still playing a two tight end line, or two tight end offense here. You're getting a chance to watch the pursuit of number 54, Greg Bingham. Watching it all the way, actually overran the play, but stepped back inside to get a piece of the tackle. He is a very fine flowing linebacker, very aggressive, has done a big job for them this year.
3rd and 5 from the 27-yard line. From a double right formation, Morton fakes left and throws right incomplete. Well read by 56, Art Stringer. He was right in the middle of the screen, and Jensen unable to come up with a ball. So here comes Fred Steinfort, who is a historian himself. He has had tremendous success here with his new team, the Denver Broncos. And Steinfort has kicked 3 over 50, including a club record 57 yards, and that's the 3rd longest field goal in NFL history. And this one will be from 45 yards out of Matt Robinson's hole. Steinfort is 13 for 16 this year. High enough, long enough, good. Well, that's easy picking for Steinfort, only 45 yards. He has been brilliant.
He also is a young man who doesn't mind using a little bit of emotion. He watches it. I think a kicker usually knows once he's made contact. It's like a golfer. He can feel that good kick. Now watch Steinfort. He'll tell you about it right here. We're on the board first. And they are. They're putting the pressure on the Houston Oilers.
Now Denver, after the punt return by Upchurch that took the ball into Houston territory, able to get a first down and move close enough for the 45-yard attempt by Steinfort, and a 3-0 Denver lead with just under 10 minutes remaining in the first quarter. Steinfort, who will always be able to tell his relatives he replaced the 2 greatest kickers in NFL history, George Bland at Oakland, and then Jim Turner, number 2 in scoring all time here in Denver. Hits one high and deep. Roaches at the goal line. The little Roaches at the 10. To the 20. 25. And he dances to the 30. Oh, he's exciting. Carl Roaches, they list him at 5'8". He's probably 5'6". From Texas A&M, Greg Braceland, rookie from California, made the tackle.
Robert Brazil, a starting linebacker, an all-pro. I take it not Brazil. 52 is Braceland, Greg Braceland, coming down in coverage. He's a guy that's supposed to break the wedge. Gets down, makes contact. Now he's just pursuing. Comes all the way across on the backside. He's going to get a piece of the tackle, drive him out of bounds.
Good hustle. Had he not been able to pursue, Roaches might have really gone. Casper was offside, and Campbell is hit at the 30-yard line by Tom Jackson. Casper moved too soon from his left end position. We'll see whether with a no gain on the part of Campbell if Denver declines the penalty.
One of the things you have to know, Dick, is that Casper is adjusting still. I mean, in spite of the fact that he knows the cadence of Kenny Stabler because he played many years with him. In spite of the fact that
second down.
This is not a difficult system for him to adjust to. He still has to make some mental adjustments and has to be doing some thinking on the field. It has to hurt his performance.
You saw the Earl Campbell 14-yard graphic. We'll be showing you that throughout the course of the game to keep you abreast of his attempt to try to do something no one has ever done in NFL history. Rush for 200 yards, 3 straight games. He won't do it that way. He gets only 2 on a carry up the middle before Greg Boyd, 77, from his defensive end position, made the tackle. So it's 3rd and 8 for Stabler, and Bum Phillips not too happy with what he's seeing.
Earl Campbell off the side.
Atlanta 30, Buffalo 14.
Ooh.
The Falcons, after that big win against the Rams last week, carry that momentum over and win in Buffalo today. 3rd and 8. Rob Carpenter was a man in motion. Well covered. Denver and Barber extremely well covered, and we have a flag down at the 25-yard line. It is holding against the Oilers, so Denver will decline that. They'll take the ball on the punt.
Number 75, Rulon Jones.
76 offense, refused, 4th down.
is a fine, young, pass-rushing defensive end. He's rushing on Mo Towns, who's probably the weakest of the pass blockers on that Houston line. And, of course, that's not a good matchup when Kenny Stabler is holding the ball. They tagged him for 15 yards. Denver refused the penalty. They're going to make Houston kick the ball away.
We're going to keep our eyes on two outstanding young defensive linemen, Jones, 75 of Denver, and Stensrud, 67 of the Oilers. Parsley against the 10-man rush. Gets it away, and Upchurch, ever dangerous, at the Denver 23. 25. And to the 33, the 34, almost the 35 goes Upchurch. 11-yard, maybe 12 yards on the return after a 45-yard punt by Cliff Parsley.
The Houston Oilers have not been one of the better coverage teams in the NFL this year, and I think one of their reasons for that is that they've been so concerned about protecting Parsley. Parsley had some kicks blocked early in his career, and I think their concern has caused them to be more conscious of protecting him than actually getting down and tackling the return man.
Injured Oiler on the play, 36, Carter Hartwig being attended to across the way. Did you look at Bum Phillips? Phillips, of course, his cowboy boots have been a subject of considerable conversation, and today he said he's going with his brown ostrich shoes. Bum says that he's got, well, he lists things like alligator and crocodile and lizard. I think his most unusual, elephant ears, a pair made out of elephant ears. He said most of them, though, are water creatures. He said, I don't dare even go near a ditch. They just want to jump in.
You might wonder why he's so concerned. Two reasons, basically. He is one of the most human of NFL coaches, and he has a very fine relationship with his players. He also happens to have a defensive backfield where there are only two substitutes, one of which is Carter Hartwig. Now that means that now Jack Tatum is the only healthy substitute if Carter is indeed hurt, as he appears to be fairly seriously.
And Tatum can't play the corner.
And Tatum cannot play the corner. You're left with two healthy cornerbacks. That's not a good situation for the Houston Oilers.
The Oilers have been very fortunate in terms of injuries. They've had some, like everyone, but they've not been hit hard the last couple of years. And you have to be a little lucky, too, in that regard. Odom shifts to the right. Armstrong and Jensen behind Morton. Armstrong gets 3 out to the 37-yard line into the arms of Robert Brazil and 71 Ken Kennard.
There's a lot of pressure on the young man who's playing in that offensive line for the Denver Broncos. Number 65, Glenn Hyde, playing for Tom Glassick, who has a broken hand. Hyde working right there on Elvin Bethea, number 65. You see him doing his job, but Bethea is a battle-wise old veteran, and in spite of his injuries, stuffed Hyde back into that hole. They only got a short gain.
Boy, it appears to be a mile away when you look at it from that angle. That's where Morton's trying to get the Broncos, leading 3-0. Jensen across the 40 and out to the 42, almost the 43, as he made a dive under the pile. From one side, it was Elvin Bethea, and down at the bottom, Robert Brazil makes another hit for the Oilers. It'll bring up 3rd and 2. Jensen, an interesting story, as an off-the-field artist, and more success that he's enjoying. His own company, he designs, photographs, and does pastels and pencil work, wildlife art. We'll show you some of that later. There's 2 of them now. Wouldn't mind having one of those in my wall.
Now, being an old Ram, I wouldn't mind one of those Rams on my wall.
3rd and 2. Morton, wide open is Odom. 40, and he's out of bounds at the 38-yard line. Riley Odoms from Morton, first down, Denver. Welcome to Denver, Colorado, you fans that have just seen the San Diego Chargers defeat Cincinnati 31-14. This is Dick Enberg with Merlin Olsen. We have 6:49 remaining in the first quarter. The Broncos have kicked a 45-yard field goal. Fred Steinfurt lead at 3-0 and have just picked up a first down on a Morton to Riley Odoms pass. First down at the Houston 38-yard line. Out of the backfield to Jensen. 35, out of bounds, hit by Perry, short of the 32-yard line, a gain of nearly 6. Craig Morton, who has replaced Matt Robinson as the starting quarterback. Denver Broncos, Merlin Olsen said at the start of the year they wanted to do something to beef up the offense. They went out and traded and paid a good price for Matt Robinson, and they also acquired Lawrence McCutcheon from the Rams. McCutcheon is now gone. He's playing in Seattle, and Morton has taken Robinson's job. So that part of the experiment has not worked, and the statistics reflect that, yet they're 4-4 and only one game out of first place. Jensen, close to a first down at the 28, and they have picked up offense with Jim Jensen. He's been outstanding.
Jensen and Otis Armstrong both. Looking over the shoulder, Rob Carpenter. We had a Houston player, another second Houston player on the ground, getting up very slowly. 33, J.C. Wilson, and we just indicated that Carter Hartwig, who is the backup cornerback, has been injured already. Now, obviously, when a player is hurt, he must leave the field for at least one play. We'll have to see. It's going to be Jack Tatum coming in. What are they going to do at that corner spot? I suppose it will be Tatum at cornerback. Tatum's certainly ill-equipped to play that position. They might put him at safety and move one of the safeties up the corner.
Well, Reinfeldt doesn't have the speed to play the corner. It would have to be Vernon Perry. And that's who he talks to, 32 Perry. Let's see how they align Tatum and Perry. No, Tatum will play the left corner. It is third and less than a yard. Rob Lytle easily picks up the first down at the 25. We welcome those of you who have been watching the Kansas City-Baltimore game. Final score there is the Colts beat Kansas City 31-24. Here in Denver, 3-0. The Broncos over the favored Houston Oilers. And Denver, driving for more, has just picked up a first down at the 26-yard line.
The Broncos playing in front of their home crowd on Orange Sunday. Everyone dressed in orange. And they've taken advantage of that home field advantage. They've come out red hot in the beginning of this game.
First down for Craig Morton. He has Jim Jensen and Dave Preston behind him. Fakes to Preston. Throws wide open to Egloff. He's all the way to the 9-yard line. Ron Egloff.
Craig Morton's shoulder, the little fake to freeze the linebackers. Denver going with two tight ends. Egloff sneaking across the middle. Linebackers pulled up by the fake, and Egloff gets a fine 16-yard gain before he's pulled down.
Merlin, it may be a sign of the times, that double-end offense, two tight ends, and we're going to show you that graphically to help you fans at home to appreciate it as we progress. Right now, Morton has first and goal just inside the 10. It's to Preston, and he gets to the 7-yard line. And a flag goes now. Face mask against Houston.
Houston already hit by several penalties, which have cost them offensively. Now hit by a penalty on defense that will put the ball even closer to the end zone as Denver continues to dominate the early going of this game.
Oh, that does not look good. Carter Hartwig already with that leg immobilized, heading for the dressing room. Those of you who weren't with us, Houston has only 2 reserve defensive backs. That's one of them.
Personal foul, face mask, 59 defense, first down.
So not only half the distance to the goal line, but Bum Phillips Oilers now look at Denver with the ball first and goal just outside the 2. Broncos leading 3-0, 4.5 minutes left in the first quarter. Morton now with 2 tight ends. Tosses to Preston. And he stopped just short of the goal line. Did a good job eluding a loss as J.C. Wilson had a hand on him at the 5. And Preston stopped just inside the 1.
Craig Morton actually utilizing 3 tight ends. They have Dave Studdard, number 70, normally a tackle, playing the other tight end spot. Watch Preston here, getting to the outside behind the blocking of 30 Jensen and the rest of that offensive line. He's penetrating, but just good, stiff defensive play. Looked like 56 Stringer, the man who hit him first. A good goal line stand, but there's not much goal line left.
Second and goal, fumble, and a big pileup right at the goal line, and Denver is recovered is the signal from the referee Barth. He wasted no time. Apparently Morton was able to dive in and pick it off the heels of his center.
A chance to look at the surge on the line of scrimmage between these two teams. You see Morton, he's already dropped that football, dives back in, gets his hands on it, but boy, you talk about a dog pile. There it is. That's a good way to get hurt.
Third and goal. Morton lost about a half a yard. The ball's on the 1. Morton asking the crowd to quiet. Jensen outside, and he he's hauled down by Tatum, 28. Now here's a case where Tatum's outstanding. He is excellent against the run, and he just delivered a loss to the Broncos. It's 4th and goal at the 2, and Red Miller's going to go for the field goal.
And that's a very big series for the Houston Oilers. Anytime you can keep a team away, especially when they get down inside that 5 and have a first down, has to lift you, not only defensively, but has to lift your offense as well. Even if they make this touchdown, you only need one play. The Oilers only need one play to get ahead in this game.
This is no more than an extra point for Steinfort if he kicks it. Remember, Robinson, the backup quarterback, is his holder. He's kicking, and he's got it. So Steinfort, a 20-yard field goal to go with his earlier 45-yard successful attempt. And we have a timeout. 2:48 remaining in the first quarter at Mile High Stadium, Denver. And the Broncos have taken a 6-0 lead. On the right of your screen, Fred Steinfort tees it up. On the left, the deep men for Houston, Carl Roaches and Jeff Groth. 6-0 Denver. And another long kick by Steinfort. Roaches a yard deep. He's going to take it out. And he gets to the 20-yard line before he's smothered in a sea of orange. Earl Campbell comes on the field with that Houston offense. Campbell, who rushed for 203 yards against Tampa 2 weeks ago, 202 yards last week against Cincinnati. Only O.J. Simpson in NFL history has rushed back-to-back 200-yard games. Here's Campbell trying to do, well, that's just so remarkable. As you said earlier, Merlin Olsen, you just didn't think any team should rush for 100 yards, much less an individual get 200. Only 14 yards thus far, however. Here he comes to the 30 and dragged down at the 31, the 32-yard line. 12 yards for Campbell.
Earl Campbell is not only the most physical back in the NFL, but he also has some pretty nifty moves. He just laid Steve Foley out, just let him hang out there. A little toreador, a little matador act there. Slips to the outside. Watch him here. He comes to the outside. Campbell doing a good job of feeling the hole. Breaks away from 75. Rulon Jones. Watch the little move right here. Just runs right through the arm, but he had to get back inside to make that an arm tackle instead of a shoulder tackle.
Stabler on first down. Throws for Barber. Incomplete. Steve Foley made the play. Foley was moved from cornerback to safety when Aaron Kyle was acquired.
We talked about the two tight end system that Houston is playing in this ball game. To help you understand that, what Houston is doing is replacing a wide receiver with a tight end. They now have two tight ends balanced. They'll be either in a formation with the backs spread, or they possibly will be with the backs one behind the other in an I formation.
In other words, Billy Johnson or Ken Burrow, who would normally be that wide receiver, replaced by Dave Casper. 2nd and 10 from the 32. Campbell running off that left side, but he ran right into Rulon Jones and company. Jones, the young rookie, number 75 from Utah State, with Tom Jackson helping out.
Dick, Red Miller has gone back to a theory that he used a couple of years ago very successfully with his defensive linemen. He was rotating almost units of defensive linemen, and he's starting to do that again. Right now he's got Rulon Jones in at right end, and he's got Latimer in at the middle position. 77, Greg Boyd. That's a whole new unit compared to the one he started with.
Chavis, Carter, and Manor were the starters. 3rd and a long 8. Stabler. Almost intercepted. A flag is down. We're saying Tom Jackson interfered with Casper out at the 41-yard line.
One of the reasons that you go to a two tight end offense, especially against a 3-4 team, is to take advantage of a weak side linebacker who's not used to playing on a tight end. Normally that is Tom Jackson. You see right there, Jackson is working on the tight end. That's not a comfortable thing. He ended up committing the foul, giving the Oilers a first down. You'll see it here for yourselves. He just tapped him before the ball arrived. Not a flagrant foul, but the rules say you can't touch him before that ball gets there. The flag was thrown.
They mark it at the 44-yard line. First down, Houston. They trail 6-0. Here comes Campbell all the way to the 49 at Denver. As again, he ran behind Carl Mock and David Carter. Bob Young, Chavis, and Carter made the stop for Denver as Red Miller has put in his starting front three of Chavis, Carter, and Manor.
The Houston Oilers like to go over to that left side, as we indicated, because of the strength of the people over there. Bob Young, certainly, if not the strongest man in football, one of the strongest. Gray is Leon Gray, an absolutely powerful blast blocker, and Casper, an excellent blocker in his own right.
You saw Campbell's total in this first quarter. Here's Tim Wilson. He got maybe a yard. Now, you always key on Campbell, and it's a surprise when Wilson has the opportunity to rush the football. He has only 176 yards rushing this year, but that didn't fool Denver as Carter and Nairn made the tackle.
I think sometimes the defenders would like to have hands that big to try and reach up and grab the football.
Yours are. It's a gain of 1 for Wilson and brings up 3rd and 2 at the 48 of Denver. Campbell off the left side trying to get outside. And that's when he's really dangerous in a short yardage situation, because he has the speed to run away from everyone. A big gain for Campbell all the way down to the Denver 38.
We talk about the blocking ability of number 87, Dave Casper. Watch him here. He's just getting down to hook a man on the outside. Couldn't get him hooked, just laid on him, blasted him out. Now watch the speed of number 34, Earl Campbell, and the body control. Gets around the corner, fights for the extra yardage, trying to stay in bounds, and he just flat outran everyone from the inside. And a man with that size and that strength, when he can turn it on like that, you are in trouble.
Well, you multiply that by 4, and he's right close to that 200-yard day. Stabler complete at the 28-yard line. On the sidelines, it was Aaron Kyle making the tackle. Is that Ken Burrow in there? Yes, it is. Ken Burrow, his first catch of the year. That's news, too, as Burrow has returned to the Oiler lineup. He injured a knee in preseason. Boy, what a welcome return for Houston fans to get Burrow, the great receiver, back. And that's the end of the first quarter. Denver leading the Oilers 6-0. Another sellout, the 77th consecutive here in Denver. There are the first quarter statistics, fairly even. Denver leads 6-0, but Houston first down at the Denver 28 as Campbell is stopped at the line of scrimmage. He ran right into the arms of Bryson Manor, former star at Arkansas. So Campbell, who finished the first quarter with 46 yards rushing, almost on pace for another 200-yard game, gets nothing on his first attempt of the second quarter.
We've seen Campbell have some great days, but we've seen him stopped during some days too. And the way to stop Earl Campbell is to force him to run laterally. You block him up on the inside, and you force him to make that turn when you've got bodies in there to tackle him, because as soon as he turns to be toward that sideline, he loses his forward momentum. And that's what they were able to do on defense on that play.
Campbell comes out as Rob Carpenter, a better receiver, is in. Stabler almost intercepted. Tom Jackson diving in front of Casper. That Jackson, he's a cat. He's only 6 feet tall, if that, and about 220 pounds. He's almost like a cornerback.
Dave Casper was Stabler's favorite target in Oakland, and he goes back to him here in a clutch situation. Casper just a little square out, little hook. Watch the reaction, the ball reaction of Jackson. Excellent anticipation, back inside and stretched to the maximum, bats that ball away. That's fine defensive play.
Second down, 10. Denver 6, Houston nothing. Ball at the 28. Stabler has a man open. It's Casper at the 16-yard line. That'll be a first down as the tackle is made by Randy Gradishar. 11-yard gain, 6-0 here in Denver. Now let's go to New York and Brian Gumbel.
Thank you, Dick. As is their habit, the Jets are having another bad time in Foxborough. Another mistake here by Richard Todd. Mel Lunsford deflects it. Mike Hawkins comes down with the interception. After the Patriot drive stalls, John Smith from 21 yards out makes good to add another 3 points to the Patriots' 14. It's now 17-0 still in the first. Back to Denver and Dick.
Thank you, Brian. Dick Enberg. Merlin Olsen in Denver's Mile High Stadium. First down for the Oilers at the 16 of Denver. They trail 6-0. In motion comes Tim Wilson. Earl Campbell up the middle, blasting his way to the 12-yard line and bulldogged down by Randy Gradishar. Is that a matchup the power of the runner Campbell against the strength of one of the best linebackers in football, Gradishar.
We've spent some time talking about Casper. The Oilers have another fine end. His name is Barber, and his number is 86. Watch him right there as he simply cuts the legs out from underneath 58, Rob Nairn. He's one of the reasons that play was successful. Big 4-yard gain, 2nd and 6.
50 yards now for Campbell. 2nd and 6 at the 12. Campbell again, looking for daylight. There is none. All he found was 53. Gradishar, no gain.
Randy Gradishar is rounding back into physical shape after having broken some ribs, cracked some ribs earlier in the year. He's wearing a flak jacket on the field to protect those sore ribs, but he said he is not in nearly as much pain and feels that this certainly, physically anyway, should be his best game of the year. He's been in on a number of tackles earlier, and I really think that he anticipates and flows to the ball better than any linebacker in the game.
Give Campbell 2 yards after all on that last play. It's 3rd and 4. Stabler. Flags are down. Intercepted and dropped. Rob Nairn, 58. Broken up, and Mike Barber is very upset. He feels that Nairn was all over him.
Barber emotionally reacting, as you saw, to a lack of a call. The flags thrown on the line of scrimmage, at least, were thrown against holding.
Holding against both sides. Nullifying penalties.
Watch Dave Casper now. Call here is on Jackson, number 57. Bounces him hard. The second shot right, the grab right there. Good call. That was Gradishar saying, you're not going anywhere. Stabler getting the ball off. And here a chance for an interception. The ball in the hands of Nairn. Kicked by Nairn, but incomplete.
That's tough to do. He had all parts of his anatomy on that one. This is the 13th play of this drive. 3rd down, a long 4. Draw to Carpenter, no gain. In fact, he's dropped for a loss. Boy, they were ready for that one. 68, Reuben Carter, and 53, Gradishar. And that series showed why Gradishar is an all-pro. He was in on every tackle.
I said it earlier, I don't think there's a linebacker in football. You can see the flak jacket, by the way, as he's coming off there. See the bulging at the waist? He's wearing that to protect those ribs. There's not a linebacker in football that anticipates the ball better, that reads the keys, that flows to the ball any better than Randy Gradishar.
Tony Frisch, who has a bad leg, will try a 32-yarder. Trouble, and it's Denver's ball. Gifford Nielsen bobbled the snap, and Frisch with a bad leg didn't want to risk kicking it for fear it would be blocked and might have gone for a touchdown.
You'll get a chance to see the holder under extreme pressure here. Gifford Nielsen trying to field that football. Watch it here. A close shot of that ball bouncing to him. He got it on the first hop. His timing was off, and you saw him bobble the snap. Fritsch had no chance to get up and kick it.
So the Broncos with a break. 11-17 left in the first half, and they lead it 6-0.
1981, a new.
And Reuben Carter is in on top of it for Denver. It's listed as a fumble, a turnover. Denver leads 6-0. Those are the kinds of plays that really build momentum for a team. Greg Morton, let's see if he goes long. Nope, stays inside and whacked hard to the 22-yard line was Dave Preston. Kelvin Bethea in on the stop for the Houston Oilers.
We talked about the Denver defense. We ought to talk a little bit about this Houston defense. They're second in the AFC overall. Curly Culp, one of the fine productive members of that defense, penetrating along with several of the other defenders to make a big play there. But they're fourth against the run and they're first against the pass in the AFC. They really have had a fine year.
And they're number 2 overall to Buffalo in the AFC in total defense. 2nd and 11. Morton. Down he goes. Jesse Baker, 75, who led the Oilers last year with 15.5 sacks, has just picked up his 4th. The flag also dropped in the play, but with a loss to Morton, the Oilers probably will take the loss of down and the sack.
One of the problems that Craig Morton has, and he'll freely admit it, is he does not have the mobility. He's been banged around. His knees are not good. He does not have the speed anymore to get out of a situation like that, and he loses some dimension. But one thing that Craig Morton will give you is the ball will be on target. It will be delivered to the open receiver. I still think, if not the finest pure passer in the game, he has to be one of the top 3.
Decline the penalty, bring up 3rd down and 12. As soon as we get a chance, we'll update all the scores for you. We've had several finals in. John Keyworth, 32, has joined Preston in the backfield behind Morton. And they stay on the ground to Preston. That won't be nearly enough for a first down as he's tackled at the 30-yard line. Short by a couple. 9-yard gain, nevertheless, by Dave Preston. Let's run down the final scores for you. San Diego will assure itself at least a piece of first place with a win at Cincinnati, 31-14. Baltimore in a seesaw game finally defeated Kansas City 31-24. It broke the 4-game win streak of the Chiefs. Atlanta, big upset in Buffalo, 30-14. That's Carl Roach's deep. Pittsburgh finally beat Green Bay 22-20, and it was a struggle at Three Rivers for the Steelers, who were behind at halftime. Luke Prestridge, who's had a fine year for Denver. Wobbly kick to Roaches. 23, 25, 30, and down at the 31. Jim Jensen, also working on the special teams. The fullback made the tackle along with one of the linemen, Keith Bishop. Timeout, 10 minutes left in the first half. Denver leads 6-0. Jackson. Let's check the rest of the scores. Detroit beat the 49ers 17-13. You fans of the Lions know that Billy Sims gained but 37 yards, but a victory for the Lions. Tampa Bay, big win over the Giants, 30-13. Dallas trailing St. Louis in the 4th quarter, 24-20. Big possible upset there. 9 minutes left in that game. Stabler on 2nd and 9, going long for Burrow at the 20, and he fumbles. Ball's dead. The ball's dead at the 15-yard line, and it appeared Burrow got away with a little push himself.
There's no question about it, Dick. Some of the fans here saw it. As Burrow is running to the outside, perhaps we'll get a chance to see it here. Stabler just uncorks and throws it as far as he can. Now watch Burrow. Now it's too late to see it there, but he did in fact push Aaron Kyle away. He did it very sneakily, caught that football. The referee rules that the ball bounced free as Burrow hit the ground. No fumble. It will be Houston's ball, and that's a big play. They're glad to have Double O, Kenny Burrow, back. He is their deep threat.
377 career catches. He is the long bomb threat. 54 yards on the play. That's the longest Stabler pass of the season. Earl Campbell burrowing ahead for a couple of yards to about the 13-yard line. Other scores underway. Oakland leads Miami 9-3 in the 2nd quarter. New England, as you heard earlier from Bryant, a 17-0 lead against the Jets. And it's Seattle 6 and Philadelphia nothing. Now New England ahead 24-0. Seattle ahead of Philadelphia 6-0 in the 2nd quarter. Seahawks looking for their first win at home, and the Rams breezing as expected against New Orleans in the 2nd quarter, 17-0. You're up to date on all the action, including that Minnesota lead against Washington. A surprise. 2nd and 8. Campbell. Boy, did he make a quick cut and gets to about the 8, maybe the 7, before Gradishar can make the tackle with Foley assisting. It'll be short of the first down, bringing up 3rd and 2. Make it 3rd and 3.
Andy Bourgeois, the offensive coordinator for the Houston Oilers, said that Earl Campbell is apparently maturing as a ball carrier in that he is seeing the holes better. And you could see the result of that right there. I mean, traditionally he just went out there and ran over people, but as he started to the outside, he saw a hole open inside, and he took it instantly.
59 yards now for Campbell. That's Ronnie Coleman in motion, and the throw to Coleman, and he has a first down at the 3-yard line. Coleman, who was a a specialist doing just that. Out of the backfield, an excellent receiver. That's his 14th catch of the year, and it gives the Oilers first and goal at the 3. Coleman shaken up on the tackle as Foley and Thompson hit him hard.
Kenny Stabler, a master at delivering that short pass on target. And some of those short passes, Dick, are the toughest to throw because the angles are critical. Throwing to a swinging back, you've got to put it in the right place, or A, you won't catch it, or B, it'll bounce in the air. Even if he can catch it, he's got to be able to turn upfield and run. He did all those things on that play.
That's Carpenter in motion. Pitch to Campbell. Campbell at the goal line did not get in. Stopped just inches away as 4 Broncos led by Roland Jones, 75. Number 2 draft pick. Second round draft pick of the Broncos. Technically, he was their first pick. Bob Phillips looking, for a touchdown that would give his Oilers the lead.
He didn't go to a bad school either, that Roland Jones.
That was Utah State. That does ring familiar, doesn't
it? Trained a few tackles over there. Looking down at the Bronco defense, they're going to have their feet right in their own end zone. And I can guarantee you that they're looking for one man. They know who's going to get this football. Be interesting to see if Stabler would dare to cross him up on this play.
Well, let's follow Campbell. He's the middle man. And he's in the end zone. Earl Campbell with his 6th rushing touchdown of the season. And the game is now at 6-6.
We'd indicated earlier that even though Denver had dominated the first minutes, in fact, a good part of the first quarter, all Houston needed was that one big play right there from Earl Campbell to get them even, and now they need a kick from Tony Frisch to put them ahead. And it's interesting, Merlin, with all the emphasis on the 2 tight end system with Casper joining Mike Barber, it was Ken Burrows' return and a 54-yard pass reception that really set that touchdown play. Not only the return of, but a great play, a very veteran play, pushing Aaron Kyle away and catching that football, doing it beautifully.
Frisch, bad leg and all, to kick the extra point. And he's got enough leg to punch that one through. And Houston leads for the first time. 5:47 remaining in this first half. Earl Campbell right up the middle for the touchdown. Tony Frisch kicks the extra point, and it's now the Oilers 7 and the Broncos 6. Service by the National Football League. The Oilers have driven 69 yards in 7 plays. Campbell scoring from 1 yard out to take a 7-6 lead over the Broncos. Let's watch Frisch, how much leg he gets into this one. Not bad at all. To Larry Brunson at the 3. The 20, and down at the 24-yard line, and the Oilers trying to strip him of the ball in the process. Rob Carpenter, 26, a piece of that tackle.
And Jack Tatum, number 28, making a great play as he came from the outside. Just got a handful of ball carrier and spun him to the ground.
Coming up at halftime, Merlin, a reminder, we'll have an update on the hostage situation along with NFL 80 and all the scores. Eric Utley, NBC News, will bring us up to date on what appears to be good news developing regarding the hostages. 94. From the 24. Morton. Complete to Keyworth. Out of bounds. J.C. Wilson made the tackle just shy of the 31-yard line. A gain of 7. So with 5.5 minutes remaining in the first half, Denver trails 7-6. Update on other action. Let's go to Bryant in New York. First, fans watching that game, watching Jim Plunkett, who has been sensational since taking over for Pastorini. 2nd down and 4, and flags are down. And so is Dave Preston, but it appeared the Oilers were a bit anxious and may have picked up a 5.
The right side of the Oiler defense, Robert Brazil and the defensive end over on that side, Elvin Bethea, shifting down to the inside. They were trying to guess on the snap count, and they guessed it was going to happen a little early. And as they got into the inside, they both got themselves off the line of scrimmage, or actually over the line of scrimmage, and were penalized 5 yards for it.
Merlin, you talk about the veteran Burrows play. We'll wait for the announcement.
Defense number 52, offside.
It was Brazil. But the veteran quarterback can gain you yardage with his voice too, can't he? That's
yes. You bet he can. He can get you offsides rather easily.
Was Bill Munson the best ever at that?
I think Munson, when he was in Detroit, got the Rams offside in one game I played in 11 times in one game.
That's a slump. First down play. Dave Preston close to the 40-yard line into the arms of the man they call Devil, Greg Bingham.
If you don't have good linebackers, you better not play a 3-4 defense. Greg Bingham leads this team in tackles. You'll see why here. Playing off the blocker right there, going head-to-head, and just driving the ball carrier to the ground. That's good linebacking play by number 54, Greg Bingham.
Leading tackler again this year, as he has been the last 5 years for Houston. All-American at Purdue. 2nd down, 6. Morton out of the backfield to Preston. 45, tripped up at the 49. Tackle made by Art Stringer. It's a first down for Denver near midfield. Broncos trail 7-6 here in Denver with 4.5 minutes left in this first half. Let's go back to New York. Bryant, Jim Plunkett, and so many fans pulling for the veteran from Stanford. He came into the game today, 60 passes with no interceptions since starting. 7 touchdowns. First down Denver from its 49. Out of the backfield to Rob Lytle. Former Michigan All-American, knocked out of bounds at the Houston 49 after a short gain of 2. This telecast presented by authority of the National Football League, intended for the private use of our audience. Any rebroadcast or other use of this telecast without the express written consent of the Denver Broncos and the National Football League is prohibited. Let's pause briefly for station identification from Denver. This is the NBC Television Network.
KTAL-TV, Channel 6, Texarkana, Shreveport.
Enberg, Merlin Olsen, Mile High Stadium, less than 4 minutes remaining in the second quarter. Houston 7, Denver 6. This is 2nd down and 7 for Morton. Gives to Keyworth. Across the 45 and down to the 44 goes the former Colorado star. Short of the first down by a couple.
We had mentioned that both of these teams were utilizing 2 tight ends. Denver's system a little different. Very often they come out in a 3-eye formation and they shift one man out. He's originally a wide receiver. He becomes a tight end as he gets to the line of scrimmage. Now, look what happens if he goes to the other side. Now, he'll come up and get right on the line as a tight end. He becomes a wing on the outside. You actually have 2 tight ends very often on the outside for the Denver Broncos. They've utilized that along with their regular formations. They've got the wing formation, 2 tight ends to the right in this situation.
Both Egloff and Odoms. Odoms is the wing back, and they run that way to Preston. And he has the first down. Hard running by Preston to the 39, and a flag down, and I believe we have another face mask against the Oilers. Well, that was a good example of the strength of the 2 tight ends. They put him on the right side and ran behind that blocking power.
Quite an unusual formation, and one that I haven't seen. I've seen the wing formation. I've seen it in short yardage. I've rarely seen it out in the field.
Is that, with both teams going to the 2 tight ends, do you think, Merlin, that that's going to be a trend in the NFL, or is it just a unique circumstance here today?
Well, I think you do that in a ball control situation. Both these teams are trying to get ball control. You'll get a chance, by the way, to see the face mask on number 28, Jack Tatum. Gets the hand inside, trying to get Preston to the ground. Actually hooked the mask right there at the end of the tackle. You saw the helmet snap up. But the answer to your question, Dick, I don't know that it's a general trend. I think we might see more and more of it in given situations.
Orthodox formation this time, with Odoms the tight end to the right. Fake, Morton to throw deep, going for Upchurch. And a fine play by Greg Stemrick, number 27, who is playing in his backyard. He went to college at Colorado State.
Stemrick tried to cover the very speedy Rick Upchurch, and he's elated at being in the right position. That ball in his hands briefly, and you saw Upchurch stripping the ball out of his hands. It's interesting how receiver and defensive back change roles when that defensive back finds himself with the ball in his hand. Watch it right here. Stemrick gets up, gets the ball in his hands. Now, Upchurch just working as hard as he can to scissor those arms away so that the defender can't come down with that football.
It is unusual. The Oilers cornerbacks, the 2 starters, do not have an interception all year. 8 games. That's hard to find, that stat. Preston, all the way to the 26-yard line goes the young man from Bowling Green University. That'll be short of the first down by 2 and bring up 3rd down.
Preston having a little conversation there with the official. Actually used his feet to push one of the tacklers away after the fact. I believe it was Vernon Perry. The official saying, hey, that's not the kind of thing we do here. We might throw a flag on you next time. I think Preston was explaining that Perry had gotten there a little late.
Robert Red Miller, 53-year-old head coach of the Broncos, needs 2 yards for a first down. Morton's going to go to the air on it. Over the middle. Eglaw, first down at the 19. Greg Bingham made the tackle, but the Broncos, trailing by 1, have a big first down.
One of the obvious advantages of a 2 tight end offense is the effectiveness of the play action passing. You really force all of those linebackers, all 4 of them, to respect the strength of the running game. And on that particular play, Morton able to get some extra time by faking the run and then throwing the quick pass.
Otis Armstrong, number 24. There's a 2-minute warning, but we want to get this in. Otis Armstrong, who went out of the game early in the first quarter with a mild concussion, had returned just prior to that play to the Denver huddle. So he's okay, and that's big news for the Denver fans. We'll be back. 2 minutes left, first half, with Denver trying to regain the lead. They trailed the Oilers 7-6.
Hey, a little one-on-one. I had to do some.
Greg Morton, 75% of his passes, has the Broncos in position. First down at the 19. We talked about Armstrong with a concussion. Didn't Morton get hit in the head last week in the Giant game?
He got knocked out last week. Said that's the first time he's ever been KO'd in an NFL game after all these years.
That's amazing. Double tight end. Both to the left this time. They run the other way. Armstrong to the 14-yard line and a gain of 5. That's a good pickup on first down.
One of the problems the Denver Broncos had early in this season was getting their running game going. And they certainly have managed to do that. They have healthy averages for both their starting backs. Armstrong 4.5, Jensen 4.6. And these guys really coming at you today. They are controlling the football. They're playing the same kind of defense or offense that Houston had wanted to play against them.
Both tight ends to the right this time. And it's Jensen running behind their block to the 10-yard line, short of the first down. Ridden down by Vernon Perry, number 32.
One of the things that Denver has been able to do when they put that second tight end on the wing is get both those tight ends off very quickly and actually seal off the inside pursuit. And they're actually not blocking as many people as they're sealing off to the inside. Jensen able to take advantage of it on that play.
Denver spends its first time out. 1 minute 11 seconds left in the first half. Houston 7, Denver 6. For Denver, Jensen and Armstrong. It's Armstrong. He doesn't make it. Elvin Bethea, 65, made him head on and stopped him at the line of scrimmage. Houston has had a remarkable record this year defensively on third down. Look at that. Less than 30% of the tries by the opposition have been successful on third down, and they've just stopped Denver on a critical 3rd and 1. Timeout for the Broncos. 53 seconds left in the half. Denver 4th and 1. What'll they do? They trail the Oilers by 1. This Brian Gumbel in a very important play for the Broncos. 4th and 1, and Red Miller has elected to go for the field goal and a 9-7 lead. Robinson to hold. Steinfurt has kicked one from 45 and one from 20. And he delivers from 28 yards away, and Denver takes the lead. So Steinfurt 3 for 3 today. That runs his record to 16 out of 19 attempts this year.
Matt Robinson doing a good job of getting a hold of that ball and taking it to the ground. Looked like the snap was a little off key. And certainly one of the things you have to register is the importance of a good hold for those kickers. Steinfurt had done a lot of bouncing around, had been around the league a number of times, and certainly has been able to kick the ball so effectively here. But part of the reason for that has to be Matt Robinson, his ability to be consistent in getting that ball on the ground and getting the right slant to the football, the exact position that Steinfurt wants it in.
And of course it was a bobbled snap or a bad snap that denied the Oilers a chance at a 3-pointer earlier in this quarter, and that's the difference in the game. 9-7 Denver leads, as deploying to return 81 Jeff Groth and 85 Carl Roaches on this beautiful day in the Rockies. Temperature in the 70s.
Partly cloudy skies, 1st of November, but you would never know it by the weather that greeted us for this weekend. 75,000 plus and a lot of pretty faces at Mile High Stadium as Steinford kicks it off. Houston will have 49 seconds to try to regain the lead, and Groth will not run it out, so they'll have the full 49 seconds plus 3 timeouts. That's a lot of time for Ken Stabler.
Stabler, a wise user of that clock, certainly has the tools to get it down the field.
NFL 80 at halftime. Brian Gumbel in New York will update all the scores, special highlights of key action today. Also, an NBC News report and the latest in the hostage situation. Most of you well aware of the fact that the Iranian parliament offering to return our citizens for demands made by them. I'm sure with all the analysis we'll have an idea how soon that might materialize. From the 20-yard line, Stabler on a draw. The Carpenter trying to get out of bounds, and he does at the 26-yard line. That saves Houston a timeout. 42 seconds left in the half. Bill Thompson from the safety and Rob Nairn, linebacker, made the tackles of Carpenter, Miami of Ohio product. I remember him last year down in San Diego when we had that picture of him crawling on his hands and knees. It symbolized the effort of the Oilers as they upset the highly favored Chargers in that playoff.
One of the questions that Houston watchers have asked is why doesn't Rob Carpenter play more? And the answer is simply he's so effective when we put him in. We don't want to mess up the timetable for him.
He's in for Earl Campbell, and that's Carpenter with a catch. What a nice move, and out to the 32-yard line as he eluded Tom Jackson, but couldn't get away from Larry Evans. Stabler calls time. 31 seconds left in the half, and he has a first down at the 31-yard line. Denver leads Houston 9-7. 31 seconds left in the half, and the Oilers have a first down.
Sundays.
3 Bronco field goals, the difference. Earl Campbell with a touchdown for Houston. A half minute remaining before the intermission. Ball at the 32 of Houston. Stabler to throw. Great protection. Incomplete to Richard Castor at the 35-yard line. Castor lost his footing. There's a matter of wanting to catch the ball, see where the sidelines is, get out of bounds, and it didn't work for Houston.
Castor, the third tight end in this Houston situation. Actually, in this situation, though, almost the kind of receiver that can be either tight end or wide receiver. Ken Burrow coming out of the lineup right now. I think perhaps they're sending some plays in with those receivers.
Stabler needs a long gainer. 26 seconds remaining in the half. He has 2 timeouts. Triple left formation. Stabler rolling, and now he has some time. Throws back to Billy White Shoes Johnson. He's running backwards, and he can't elude Louis Wright at the 31-yard line. That is not a fumble. They marked it dead. Boy, did Wright show you the speed. White Shoes Johnson will run away from a lot of people, but he could not escape the grasp of Louis Wright.
Billy White Shoes Johnson, one of the most exciting players in the NFL, but absolutely no chance to get away from that 4.4 speed. Outstanding defensive play by the Broncos, but they didn't really have anything to lose, did they, Dick? I mean, there's the half blowing off right there.
That's right. Johnson tackled it. Was actually a -1 yard play. That's the end of the first half. Mile High Stadium in Denver, Colorado. The score at the intermission. The hometown Broncos on Orange Day have cause to celebrate after 30. They lead the favorite Oilers 9-7.
Michelob Light for the winning team, okay?
You guys would do that for us?
Would a bunch of guys really go at it this hard just for a beer? Well, consider it's Michelob Light, and that means a rich, smooth taste you can compare to any beer you like.
You guys never played like that before.
Hey, we never played for a Michelob Light before.
Michelob Light, compare the taste.
If the price of boots has kept you out of them, have I got news for you. Sears has genuine leather insulated boots and split suede hiking boots for just $19.99.
It will be Denver who will get the ball first here in the second half, and the Broncos lead 9-7. Frisch, despite that sore leg, kicks it deep. Here comes Larry Brunson at the 10. He's at the 20. And to the 25-yard line goes the speedster from Colorado, Larry Brunson. Dick Enberg and Merlin Olsen at Mile High Stadium on a beautiful football day. This is, oh, you can't beat this weather.
When they talk about Indian summer, this is the kind of day they had in mind, and it's great for the game of football because it's not so hot that you lose a lot of your energy to the air. You can lose it on the football field and burn it off playing the game, and both of the teams have done that in the first half. They've given us a fine first half of football, a close game. Let's see what's going to develop this second half.
Greg Morton from the 25-yard line brings Haven Moses in motion. And he's going to throw. Out of the backfield to Dave Preston, twisted down by Greg Bingham at the 30-yard line after a 5-yard gain. Merlin Olsen, there are the first half official statistics.
And you can't get much closer than that. All the way down the line, stats almost even. The Broncos having a slight edge. Morton having the ball on target a little more often than Stabler. But other than that, and the single turnover in the Oilers category, and that missed snap, that bounce snap, which really is the difference in the scoring. The game has been a tight one.
That would have been a 32-yard field goal try by Frisch. 2nd and 5. Jim Jensen barreling out to the 35, and it looks as if he has the first down at the 36-yard line. Darrell Hunt, number 50 in the game at a linebacker spot to make the tackle. Jim Jensen. There are his paintings. A close-up look at one of the pieces of work he brought out to share with us today. He's got some talent away from the field, does he not?
He certainly does. He's got some talent on the field as he hit that one right down the middle, got enough yardage that they're going to measure it for the first down.
Not quite. He came here from the Cowboys for a number 6 draft pick.
I always wanted quarterbacks every now and again on a 3rd and inches to fake it into the line and go for the bomb. But it's hard to convince a coach, especially a coach that loves the play in the middle of the line. And Red Miller, you remember, was an offensive line coach, and he believes in those tough, grinding plays up the middle. But I think one of the most effective plays in football is that little fake into the middle on 3rd and a half and right down over the top.
Even if you don't make it, it makes that defense think about it the rest of the game and future opponents as well. But it's Morton diving over the back of his center, Bill Bryan, and it appeared as they mark it that he has enough for the first down.
They have given him the first down. They're a couple of your friends, Dick. I didn't know they were here for the game.
I tell you, that's no mean feat just to get that stuff out of the inside so you can put it on your head.
There's a strange group wandering around this stadium today. I'm sure of that.
That's right. It was Halloween on Friday night, and some of the folks just couldn't get the masks off.
I've been wearing those outfits ever since. I think probably here.
Well, luckily, I just wear the same old mask and frighten them every day of the year. From the 36-yard line, a Denver first down. Early in the second half. Ooh, what a hit as Rob Lytle ran into a clothesline. At the 37-yard line, somebody nailed him. Bingham, 54, gets up. Off the bottom of the pile, Ken Kennard, 71.
But I think it was Bingham putting his head right into Lytle. Talking to Red Miller, Red said Lytle's going to be our hammer. But it was Lytle who got hammered on that particular play.
It's interesting that Bingham was recruited as a tight end by Notre Dame, but the Irish were able to get Dave Casper that year and said, well, we don't really need you after all, Greg. And Bingham went to Purdue. Lytle across the 40 to the 41-yard line, tripped up by Darrell Hunt, and we have an entry on the play. It appears that Elvin Bethea may have been hurt.
Well, Bethea has had a bad shoulder, and it looks like he may have injured that shoulder again. He was stringing the play out, working his way along the line, got popped, and has gone to the ground.
So a timeout as they attend to the veteran Bethea from North Carolina A&T. 12:23 remaining in the third quarter here in Denver. And the Broncos scored by wearing the Denver orange. It's 3rd down and 5 for the Broncos at their 41-yard line. Morton in a crowd. And it's a good thing that pass was short, as Vernon Perry, he had his eyes as big as donuts. He had an interception.
Morton taking a lot of heat. One of the men coming, number 75, Jesse Baker. Jesse working on Kelvin Clark, 73. Kelvin got a hammerlock on Jesse. Jesse still getting in there to bounce Kelvin into number 7, Morton. And it was the contact that forced the bad throw.
Well, you talk about the liberal rules for the offensive lineman. If that isn't holding, I don't know what is. Luke Prestridge to punt.
It's a low kick. Roaches lets it bounce, and it takes a Denver roll to the 10-yard line. So a good kick by Prestridge, who has been outstanding all year, averaging 43.6, and that one went for 49 yards. Timeout. The Oilers trailing, and this right, but he's still got nearly 5 up the middle. Campbell going for his 3rd consecutive 200-yard game, but he needs some long ones in the second half because his total presently reads at 66.
Most people are happy with 66 in a ball game, and certainly Earl Campbell will feel that's a real come down after hitting 200 in these back-to-back games. Dick, a lot of times field position dictates what you can do in a game. The Oilers have started they've started 6 times the average yard line to 22-yard line. They've really had a long ways to go.
Trailing 9-7, 2nd and 5. Campbell, daylight, ran right through a tackle all the way to the 29-yard line. Oh my, Earl Campbell first down, and he just shredded a couple of tacklers.
Well, in answer to the question, how big will your eyes dilate, we might ask Steve Foley, number 43, who finds himself facing number 34, Earl Campbell. Campbell runs right over the top of him, slowed him down enough for Larry Evans, number 56, to get to him. Watch number 57, Jackson, getting held to the inside. Boy, we talk about liberalized holding. They get to a point where the offense is doing the tackling on the field.
Well, Campbell, and a first down, now has 80 yards. He's very near to taking over the lead for the NFL rushing. Campbell to the 33-yard line. To bring you up to date on that, Billy Sims started today as the leading rusher in the NFL with 859 yards, but Sims of the Lions had only 37 today, giving him 896. Campbell, with that run, now has 887. So he's just a handful of yards away from becoming the NFL leader, and that's another mark. He led the league in rushing his first 2 years. If he does it this year, no one has ever done that before either. He's something. 10 minutes remaining, 3rd quarter. 2nd down, 6. Campbell again, left side, and dropped at the 34. Reuben Carter down low with an assist from Tom Jackson.
Jackson diving over from the backside actually just jerked Campbell's feet together. Earl losing yardage for one of the first times today, but even in losing yardage, he makes people hurt. I don't think anyone inflicts more physical pain on a defense than Earl Campbell, number 34. But the weapon he uses is his body, and he takes a tremendous amount of beating in the process.
In a passing situation, Carpenter, 26, has replaced Campbell. Almost intercepted. A beautiful move by Foley, who laid back, and when the ball was thrown, darted in front of Casper and broke it up and almost had the intercept.
We told you that Kenny Stabler's favorite receiver in the clutch in Oakland was Dave Casper. It's been the same that way today. Oakland got him free. They couldn't get him free against Denver here. Houston couldn't, as he's covered by 2 fine linebackers, Radishar and Jackson. And they're reading Stabler's mind. They're right there. There is no chance for Casper as they bat the ball away.
Cliff Parsley to kick. Rick Upchurch back at the 25. Upchurch has some room, 27. And then the white shirts arrived at the 29, and a flag is down.
And we have a clipping call that's going to move that ball back. We talked about field position. The Denver Broncos will not have good field position as they start this drive.
40-yard punt by Parsley. Illegal use of the hands and a clip. And they'll take the clipping penalty because that's 5 yards more. Bum Phillips, Oilers trailing 9-7. Bum when he came out. And this is a beautiful field, this turf here at Mile High Stadium. And we were walking out with him yesterday, and he looked at the grass and kicked at it, and he said, Kentucky bluegrass. He said, I got a couple of mares that like this pasture. Well, he's got a pretty good stallion in Earl Campbell. We have a timeout. 9 minutes left, 3rd quarter. Denver by 2.
People come in here and ask for plugs for Japanese cars. And I tell them there's a spark plug designed to get the most out of small 4-cylinder engines. It's got a fuse.
Back
back with the action. Denver running off a play. Jim Jensen running to the right side. Took the ball out to the 21-yard line from the 18. It'll be 2nd down and 7. And there's some concern on the Houston bench as they were working over quarterback Kenny Stabler during that timeout. 8:52 remaining in the 3rd quarter. Reintroduce that backfield for the Broncos. Craig Morton, tight end Riley Odom shifting to the left side. He has Jensen, and the ball carrier is 49 Preston. That is not a new Bronco. That's Dave Preston with a new number. His 46 jersey ripped up. He's wearing 49, and he carries it to a Bronco first down.
Otis Armstrong has really not had a chance to play much since he got the concussion early, but Preston, who's recently returned to the roster, doing an excellent job, getting acceleration there, finding the hole, and then fighting for the extra yardage. Teddy Thompson, number 51, put the helmet to him, knocked him down, but not until he had gained the first down.
Working on the right knee of Ken Stabler. First down for Morton. Going deep. Upchurch. Out of bounds at the 45. Greg Stemrick tossed him out of bounds. It's another Denver first down and a 16-yard gain.
One of the weaknesses of the 3-4 defense, first down passing. You've got 3 defensive linemen, and if you give them a little run fake, you can freeze them long enough to give a quarterback time to throw the football. That's exactly what Denver did. They got Upchurch down the field. Morton hit him, and they've got another first down. They've moved it very quickly out just beyond their own 45.
It looks as if Stabler is okay, as he doesn't seem to be concerned about that wrapping, just some protection on the right knee. From the 46, Keyworth into the middle of the line, and very little there. Greg Bingham, 54, helped out by Kennard. That team has collaborated several times today on key tackles. It'll be 2nd down and 9. Keyworth, who was injured this summer and just has returned to the Denver lineup the last couple of weeks.
The Broncos still utilizing the 2 tight end offense that they have used throughout this game, and it's been very effective for them. Actually, I think their 2 tight end offense, rather than the highly publicized Oakland 2 tight end offense, has been most effective in this game.
Odom shifts to the right side, and now back to the left. 2nd and 9, Preston. Play by Ted Thompson, number 51. Thompson from SMU, and is he proud of the Mustangs, the way they've come alive in that Southwest Conference. Read it well, fought off the blockers, and made the play at the 46 for a loss of 1.
Thompson going off the field. They're making, Eddie Biles, defensive coach, making some change-ups, expecting the pass here on 3rd and 10. But that was indeed a fine play, stringing the play out as you must do from the inside. Good pursuit from the entire defensive team of the Houston Oilers.
3rd and a long 10. Morton, down he goes in the arms of Andy Doris, number 69. The 2nd sack for the Oilers today, their 18th for the year. And even Spider-Man could appreciate that one. And in many ways, that's how a quarterback must feel when he's under the pressure of that defensive line. A bunch of Spider-Men trying to throw a web on him.
A little togetherness in the stands.
I was going to say that's your ticket, but that would make your wife very happy, wouldn't it? All right, here come the Broncos with 5.5 minutes left in the 3rd quarter. Prestridge, a kick, almost blocked. No penalty flag. Roaches at the 22, tackled immediately. Steve Watson, number 81, made the tackle.
It looked like Adger Armstrong went right under the leg of Luke Prestridge. Watch him here. He dives for the football, and I believe goes right underneath the leg of the kicker. Does not make contact. Good acting job by Prestridge. Looking for the penalty. The official shakes his head. No, sir. No contact.
David Brenner said, whatever you do, don't take a profile shot. Good to have David with us. 5:23 left.
That's a friend of David's, I think, too.
Stabler to throw deep. He's got a man open. Barber all the way to the 37-yard line at Denver. As the 2 tight ends, Barber and Casper, and this time it is Stabler going to 86. Barber for a long gainer, 41 yards.
Barber staying on the ground, but a fine play. Stabler first looking to his left, looks the defense off, and then looks back and fires right down the middle. His look to hold the safety away, and he's trying to keep Foley, number 43, who's only in his second game as a safety, away from the middle.
Here's that graphic again. The two tight end system, it's a wide receiver goes out. The second tight end, Casper, comes in using only one wide receiver. It's Ken Burrow, and he's to the right now. Stabler in trouble. Fumble. It's oh my. Greg Boyd forced the fumble, 77, but Houston recovered. I believe Bob Young, 63, fell on it.
A lot of people didn't see that football. Knocked away and bounced kind of behind the stack of bodies. Bob Young very alertly jumped on that top of that football. Watch it yourselves. Stabler looks like he's going to get a chance to step underneath Rob Nairn, 58. Boyd reaches from behind, knocks the ball away, and you'll see a diving, well, we won't see it. Yeah, there you were, right in the corner of your picture. That was Bob Young diving on that football.
15 years of experience in the league. Young looking for the pumpkin, and he found it to save the Oilers, but they lose back to the 45, 2nd and 17. Rob Carpenter with a flag down, and Carpenter tackled at the 37-yard line, and we'll check the penalty. Bill Thompson made the stop for Denver.
And it looks like it's going to go personal foul, perhaps a head slap thrown by the linesman on this side.
May have been against Stabler. It is. The penalty was indicated against Denver. And it's a 15 yards and a first down that'll take it all the way down to the 22-yard line. Big call.
Personal foul, illegal head slap, defense, first down, number 77.
Greg Boyd. One of the reasons, again, while the passing game's going so well, they let the offensive men hold, and they don't let the defensive men do what, well, your old partner, Deacon Jones, that used to be one of his favorite techniques, to use that head slap.
Well, Greg Boyd has not had a great deal of playing time. He has really come on in the lineup here as a pass rusher, but that's something he's going to have to take out of his game plan.
Campbell almost fumbled as he was slipping at the 20-yard line. Roland Jones, 75, to secure the tackle. So give Campbell a couple of more yards. It's 9-7, but Houston is driving. First to New York and Brian Gumbel. All right, Brian, New England, with Buffalo losing, with a chance to move into sole possession of first place with a victory. Stabler over the middle, complete to Barber, and he's tackled at the 16 by Randy Gradishaw. Gradishaw, the All-American at Ohio State, and the #1 pick of the Broncos in '74, but he was the 4th linebacker picked that year behind Ed O'Neill, Rick Middleton, and Wayman Bryant. Boy, the Broncos were wise in their vision.
Gradishaw grabbing a few deep breaths. I'm sure that has to shoot some pain through those painfully sore ribs of his. Even with the protection of the flak jacket, he's still playing with some pain out there.
Ronnie Coleman is in at a wing right. 3rd and 3 at the 15. That's Coleman in motion. Campbell all the way to the 9-yard line and a first down. Earl Campbell tackled by Gradishaw and Evans as Campbell works close to that 100-yard mark.
Earl Campbell learned how to run short yardage plays. I don't know where, but somebody really taught him how to do it because his feet never stopped driving. And the key to short yardage is getting those shoulders square to the line, getting that body low to the ground, and then driving. And Earl Campbell just plowed over the top and through people. There was no way they were going to stop him before he got that first down.
Some Love You Blue fans down in the end zone area. They've got a good view of this from the 9. It's Campbell, touchdown! And Denver can only be thankful that didn't take place at the other 9-yard line, or Campbell would have gone 91.
You better be careful. I think Earl Campbell's about to run right into your living room. Here he comes. Tim Wilson blocking. Campbell cutting back against the grain, accelerates, and just blows through that Denver defense. He's coasting when he hits that goal line.
Campbell's second touchdown today, 102 yards total rushing with less than 2 minutes remaining in the third quarter. Tony Frisch out of Gifford Nielsen's hold. Snap was a little high, and it's blocked. No good. So Houston has lost a field goal on a snap, and now they have an extra point blocked with 1:41 left in the third quarter.
That's the first block of the year, the first one that Frisch has missed on the year. It looks like he may have kicked it a little low. Good penetration in the middle, but I believe the kick was a little low. As we told you, Frisch has a bad leg, and I honestly believe that he just did not get properly into that football.
Oh, timeout. 1 minute, 41 seconds remaining in the third quarter. Houston back in front, 13-9.
I'm tennis pro Tracy Austin.
All right, Bryant. The Houston Oilers lead 13-9. Extra point blocked. Tony Frisch to kick it off to Larry Brunson, who stands at the goal line for Denver. Brunson at the 5, the 15, the 20, the 30, and the 31-yard line. Tackled by Ronnie Coleman, number 47. Let's pause briefly for station identification. This is the NBC Television Network.
Channel 6, KTAL TV, Texarkana, Shreveport.
13-9. You heard Merlin say flak jacket, and that was in response to the fact that there's one right there at the 50-yard line. That's what it looks like in person.
That's right.
That's what Randy Gradishar is wearing. Of course, many quarterbacks have worn. Morton, and hit immediately at the 34-yard line. His receiver, Preston, at the 34, a short yardage gain.
Let's go back and look at that extra point. Reuben Carter, the man who blocked it, great penetration from the middle. But as you see here, the ball is a little slow in being kicked. Frisch with that bad leg, not getting to it as quickly and just allowing a little extra penetration. Reuben Carter reaching it right at the height of his jump, just barely got his hands on it, but that was enough to bat it away. That may yet be significant in this game.
13-9 the score. Odoms to the right, double tight end to the right for Denver. Upchurch is left, and Morton caught from behind, fumble, and is picked up by Preston. Dave Preston, the right man at the right time, able to pick up that loose ball with Oilers all around.
Chance for you to watch it at home. Morton, as we said, is not the most mobile of quarterbacks. Takes a little too long here. Could not find the open receiver. The ball batted away from the backside by the blitzing linebacker. That's Thompson, or Washington, number 59. Ball bounced right to his own man. You'll see Preston, who's wearing 49, pick it up. Here, watch it from the backside. The bang right there by Washington. Alertly by Preston, picked it up on the bounce, but he's going nowhere. Vernon Perry, finally the guy that pushed him down.
You talk about ball hawks. There was Vernon Perry in the backfield of Denver looking for that loose ball. As the gun sounds, ending the third quarter here in Denver, it's the Houston Oilers 13, the Denver Broncos 9. We'll be right. So Miami's still very much in that one, and here in Denver, as we open the fourth quarter, it's the Houston Oilers 13 and the Denver Broncos 9. Denver's ball, 3rd and 11 from the 30-yard line. Morton to throw. Screen. Preston. That's a rare drop. It was a fairly difficult catch. He had to reach for it. Preston won't miss many of those.
On the line of scrimmage, the Houston Oilers were running a stunt. Big Mike Stensrud, number 67, actually looping all the way around the other tackle, number 71, Ken Kennard, getting good pressure on the quarterback, forcing the throw a little early. But it was actually a catchable pass, and had it been caught, might have given him a chance for that first down.
Prestridge averaging over 45 yards a kick. Roach is deep at the 28 for Houston. Another good kick. Roach is right at the 27. Good coverage by Denver. No, Roach is still on his feet. He's going to go all the way. Carl Roach's 77 yards for a touchdown.
Little Carl Roach's in what appeared to be an impossible situation. It looks as if he is going to be trapped on the sideline. Look at all the orange jerseys around him. Emery Moorhead, 86, has a chance there. Another missed tackle there. That's 50-50. Ryan, the linebacker. 81, Watson, has a shot there. Prestridge, the punter, leaped and missed. And then Carl Roaches just turns on the afterburner, and you're not going to catch that little fella.
What a story that is. This man was selling ice cream at an ice cream truck in Houston. A year ago, he asked for a tryout. And Houston, as they have done so often in that free agent market, so Bum said, come on in, I'll talk to you. Here's Roaches contributing to a team that has its eyes on a possible Super Bowl. Carl Roaches.
We're having a little conference by the officials. I don't think it's anything that's going to affect the touchdown, but they're talking things over. But Dick, you tell that story too often, you're going to have all the other NFL coaches going out to look at the ice cream truck drivers in their neighborhood.
Well, you know your old coach George Allen, he liked that ice cream, didn't hurt him either. Bum Phillips, and I think that the Broncos thought he was going to run out of bounds.
We had an inadvertent whistle on the 25-yard line. No touchdown. It'll be Houston's ball.
Oh, my. Bum Phillips, come here, come here. No, no, he says. Like saying there won't be Christmas after all. We're taking all the toys back to the store.
There goes the cowboy hat. Carl Mock, that entire Houston team has got to be enraged by that. But the one thing that we do know, the officials are human. They made a mistake. And if the whistle blows, the ball is dead.
Absolutely, that's the rule. There have been many stories in the past. And Bum Phillips could care less about that history, but remember Eddie LeBaron, he was such a master at faking with a ball. A whistle would blow saying that LeBaron had the ball tackled, and one of his teammates would be in the end zone saying, I've got a touchdown, but they don't allow it. When the whistle blows, the play is dead. And what a tremendous, upsetting moment for the Houston Oilers. And Red Miller, that's like finding money for him.
Frustration. I've rarely seen Bum Phillips angry. He usually he may get a little hot for a moment, but boy, he is furious on that sideline, and you can't blame him.
74 yards officially. Carl Roaches had a touchdown, and then he didn't. And what appeared to be an innocent meeting down on the 5-yard line was not that at all. No touchdown. Dead, Merlin, at the 25. Perhaps if we see the play again, we'll see the whistle had to sound when Roaches was at the 25. When he never stepped out of bounds, which our replay showed he did not go out of bounds. Nevertheless, that gives Denver a big boost. Houston leads 13-9. Ball at the Houston 26. Flag down. Campbell out of bounds at the 30. Let's go back and see the play again.
Now, certainly one of the responsibilities of the official is to stop the play if someone's going to get hurt, if there is a tackle being made. But there's no tackle being made. Roaches, although close to the sideline, certainly not close enough to get the whistle there and breaking free.
And the truth is, when he was at the sidelines, that was the 30-yard line, not the 25 where they put it.
Number 66, defense, encroachment, lined up in a neutral zone, still first down.
Well, that's 5 of it back, but that's hardly enough to make Bum Phillips happy.
I don't think Bum is even going to crack a portion of a smile for that. But let's see about the maturity of this Houston offensive team. Let's see how they respond to this situation.
2nd and 5. blocker who had been dumped by the defensive player, Tom Jackson.
Jackson doing an excellent job on big Leon Gray, number 74. Jackson really coming out of the blocks. Campbell not doing what he said he was doing better, not using his eyesight on that one. Ran right into the only pair of men who were stacked up on the line of scrimmage. Ended up being tackled in effect by his own man.
Bum Phillips, a World War II Marine for 3 years. And he's going to have the charge of keeping his team's head in the game. It is 2nd and 5. Stabler to throw. What a catch by Casper at the 35, close to a first down. Randy Gradishar had him covered as well as a man can.
Stabler threw that ball under extreme pressure, and he threw it in a way that only Casper could get to it, and he knew it would take a great catch. Watch Casper just diving for that football. 2 men draped all over the top of him, Gradishar and Foley. Stabler still got him the ball, and he caught it.
3rd and 1. Boy, that penalty called back touchdown has really livened the crowd. Campbell, first down at the 39. Gradishar and Foley saved the touchdown. That was all the orange left in front of Campbell. So Houston has made good on 5 of 9 third down conversions today, thanks to that man. 12:45 left. Campbell with 104 yards. Again, in case you join us late, no man has ever in NFL history rushed 3 consecutive games 200 yards a game. Campbell could do it, but he needs some long gainers in this 4th quarter. Stabler open as Burrow. First down at the 47 of Denver. So Ken Burrows returned to the Oilers. Their top deep threat these last several years, hurt this summer, playing his first game of 1980, and his presence has been felt.
Buck Phillips said that he wasn't going to activate Ken Burrow until he could play. Burrow had been practicing well in the past few weeks, but they wanted to make sure that he was entirely healthy before they put him back on the active roster. He has been active today. He's certainly been a factor in this game, and that's good news to Houston and its fans.
3 catches, 79 yards for Burrow. First down at the 47 of Denver. Rob Carpenter cut down at the 45 as Steve Foley came up from his safety spot to make the hit. Foley, native of New Orleans, family of 12, and now runs a roller skate store in the beautiful city of New Orleans, Louisiana.
Steve Foley was talking to me about moving back last week to the safety position. They played corner for so long. Said that a couple of things he really liked about it. The fact that there was time to move around and that you didn't have the extreme pressure of that one-on-one coverage. But he said a funny thing happened. He said, I looked up and I was looking right into the quarterback's eyes. I said, why is he looking at me? Strange experience for that young man.
2nd and 7. Carpenter. Some nice open field running by Carpenter, and he gets to the 40-yard line, short of a first down by 2. Go back to that point of Foley, because some of the fans may have missed the humor in all of that, that as a cornerback, you don't look at the quarterback size, but as a safety man, you're looking directly at him.
And one of the other jobs you have as a safety man is coming up to support from the outside, and Foley was the man who had to end up tackling Rob Carpenter on that play. Did a fine job one-on-one on him. But that is ironic. He said he watched me for a while, and I said maybe I better move around a little bit. Maybe I could fake him out a little bit.
3rd down, 2. Only Campbell behind Stabler. There's the Tyler Rose. And he carries a gang of orange all the way to the 27. Louis Wright was the first man on his back. 14 yards for Campbell.
And down in the pits, you get an idea of the awesome power of number 34, Earl Campbell. Quick acceleration. He's got one there. Louis Wright. Louis just getting a free ride. He's trying to bulldog Campbell. Campbell not yet slowed down. 2 more of them, and finally they bring him to the ground. But that will give you an idea of the punishing running style of number 34, Earl Campbell.
Earl Campbell is now the NFL leader in rushing with his performance today. He's passed Billy Sims. Stabler to Burrow, almost intercepted by Aaron Kyle, number 22. Now let's go back to that great disappointment, a touchdown by catches, called back, not on a penalty, but on an inadvertent whistle. But Houston maintaining its composure, as you had questioned, Merlin, whether or not they'd be able to do that. And now Houston has driven down to the 26-yard line.
A brief emotional outburst from the fans here and certainly from the Bronco players who dodged the 7-point bullet. But if Houston can take it down and stick it down their throat, put it in the end zone, it could really take the fire out of the Denver Broncos.
2nd and 10. Draw to Campbell. Read well by Rob Nairn, number 58. Nairn saw it coming. Veteran from Oregon State, a free agent pick by the Broncos, replacing Bob Swenson, and that was a big play for Nairn. 26-yard line, no gain. It's 3rd and 10, so Campbell and Wilson will go out, and Bum Phillips sends in his pass receiving unit.
Just informed from the sideline, Dick, and it's the point you made as we were looking at the replay, that one of the things that really angered Bum Phillips is the spotting of that football on the 25 rather than the 30. And that's one of the things that he was so angry about, along with the touchdown being called back.
Big play for Stabler. Complete to Carpenter, and he has a first down at the 12-yard line. Carpenter, who came into the game with 25 catches, used just in this role. Perfect throw by Stabler. Oh, how well he goes to his backs.
We talked about the 2 linebackers for Denver that were missing. Joe Rizzo is one of those linebackers. 56, Larry Evans playing in his place. And Evans was the man who had to pick up Carpenter on that play. A little bit late in doing that. Of course, Carpenter picking that one off, doing a good job of getting downfield, and certainly putting them in good position to collect on this one.
A long time-consuming drive. 8 minutes, 12, 8:11, 8:10 left in the game. Houston leads by 4. First down at the 12. Campbell looking for some daylight, and he dives into about the 7-yard line. Nairn. That wasn't Nairn, it was Reuben Carter who got a little piece of him. Then Bill Thompson, the veteran safety from Maryland State, finished him off. Campbell slow getting up. As Bum Phillips has said so often, he gets up slow, yes, but he goes down slow too.
He certainly proved that today. On that particular play, the Denver defense, anticipating the sweep, had gotten out in front of Earl Campbell, and he wisely cut it back. One of the weaknesses of a quick pursuing defense is if you can get back against the grain, you can make some yardage.
Tim Wilson moving out on the flank. Campbell inside the 5 to the 4, and you saw the presence of Campbell even as he was going to the ground, wheeling the arm over his shoulder and stretching out to put the ball on the 4-yard line. Gradishar and Jackson made the tackle at the 4. It'll be 3rd and 2 for the first down, 4 for Houston, touchdown.
I have to wonder what it is, how Earl Campbell feels on Monday morning. I remember how I felt on Monday mornings, and I never took the kind of shots and delivered the kind of shots that Campbell delivers. Monday mornings have to be a nightmare for him.
Another big day, and it's Campbell again, and he is close. They stopped him about at the 2-yard line. It's going to be close to a first down, and tremendous gang tackling by Denver to stop Campbell when it appeared he had another touchdown.
Let's go down in the pits, and maybe you'll get a feeling for the way this game is developing on the line of scrimmage. Watch Campbell now, accelerating, cutting up inside. He's going to be hit right there on about the 3-yard line. Was in the air. That's Foley, one of the hitters. Right there, they're coming from the backside. Bryson Manor, 66. Billy Thompson, 36. Aaron Kyle, 22. They know that no one or two of them is going to get him down. But Campbell is down, and he appears to be hurt on that last play.
6 Broncos tackled Campbell to stop him. They have not measured as yet for the first down or not, or have they? Campbell with 129 yards, but of much more concern, is he just out of gas, or is he injured? We'll have that news for you when we return. You saw Andrew Armstrong, 39, coming in to replace Campbell. 6.5 minutes left. Houston by 4, 13-9.
I told my Allstate agent I can't afford life insurance.
The field under his own power appeared to be all right. Campbell, the NFL rushing leader as a rookie with 1,450 yards, came back to win the title again last year, just under 1,700 yards, and he's got 936 already this year. 2 touchdowns. He's replaced. It was a first down. It's 1st and goal at the 2, and Rob Carpenter has a touchdown.
Houston cheer the Oilers, and that was a most interesting test of character. A touchdown taken away, they get it anyway.
I think there are certain points in a season that you remember as being critical to you. I think this is one that the Oilers will remember. An opportunity to fold emotionally, a chance to fold, to be angry, to come back tomorrow and scream at the officials. Stadler and that whole offensive team just said, okay, we can't get it that way, we'll do it on our own.
Frisch gets that one high enough, and it's good. Merlin Olsen, Carl Roach's touchdown, no touchdown, was 74 yards. The Oilers have just gone another 74 yards, 14 plays instead of 1. They still get the 7. 20-9, Houston.
America.
20-9, and with 6 minutes 25 seconds left, Denver now needs 2 touchdowns to take the lead. A touchdown and field goal won't do it.
Short kick.
Taken just in time by Mike Harden, a rookie from Michigan, and he's out to the 27-yard line. And let's check the other scores in the National Football League on this 9th Sunday. These are final scores. The Chargers beat the Bengals 31-14. It was the Colts 31-24, a thriller against the Chiefs. Atlanta, one of the upsets of the day, beating Buffalo in Buffalo 30-14. Green Bay scared Pittsburgh at home, but the Steelers prevailed 22-20. We'll continue the scores after this play. Morton under the pressure of time now in the 4th quarter to Jensen, 30, 35, and tripped up at the 37-yard line by Art Stringer. Back to the scoreboard. The Lions had a scare from San Francisco, but won by 4. Tampa Bay breezed against the Giants. 8 losses in a row for New York. Dallas just did rally to beat St. Louis 27-24. In the 4th quarter, Oakland's lead against Miami reduced to 6 points. We'll continue with the scores. First down, Denver at the 37. Preston. And what a play by J.C. Wilson. He was knocked down, blocked down on the play, got up, and still made the tackle. Only 170 pounds, Wilson at the corner. Good play forcing the run. Back to the scoreboard. New England apparently will take over sole possession of first place. They have a 20-point lead against the Jets. Philadelphia in a scramble at Seattle. Seahawks have not won at home. They trail by 4 in the 3rd. And Rams obviously are going to win again, beating New Orleans 38-14. So you're up to date on all the scores. Here it's 20-9. Denver trailing the Houston Oilers. Long pass to Upchurch. Complete. Out of bounds at the 43-yard line of Houston.
4-man pass rush coming on one more score, Dick. Minnesota really doing a job on the Washington Redskins. Upchurch has had 2 receptions on the day. That's certainly the biggest of them. But the Houston Oilers coming with 4 men on the pass rush, unable to get through the offensive line of the Denver Broncos. Morton had plenty of time to pass on that one.
All the time, Merlin, the clock has been running. I thought he was knocked out of bounds, but 20, 25 seconds off the clock. The clock was not stopped on that play. We still have it. We'll save it. Haven Moses at the 27-yard line. I wonder if we have the play where he was knocked out of bounds. Larry Cirillo's our producer, Ken Fouts our director, because it certainly appeared that Upchurch caught the ball, was knocked out of bounds, but the clock ran during that entire time, and that could be critical because Denver needs to score and get another possession and score again.
They're diligently trying to do that, Dick. We'll see if we can after this play.
Morton has another first down at the 27 of Houston. Over the middle, complete. Rob Lytle all the way to the 12-yard line. Bingham made the tackle. Another first down for Denver with 3:50 left in the game. 15 yards on the play.
Morton just cutting that Houston Oiler defense to pieces, and the strength of that defense has been in a situation, a controlled situation like this, when they put their prevent defense on the field. Boy, the Denver Broncos have just steamroller down the field.
Moses to the right, Upchurch left, tight end Odoms on the right. First down. Lytle gets to the 8-yard line, maybe the 7, with 3:21 and the clock running. And Denver can ill afford to go slowly back into that huddle. They trail 20-9.
Clock ticking away down to 3:10. Begin to anticipate a score perhaps here, and then an onside kick, and a great deal of time left in this ball game. But first things first, get the ball in the end zone, get the 7. You can't be worried about anything else.
2:55 left. from the 8-yard line. Morton to Jensen, touchdown, Jim Jensen.
Houston linebackers dropping deep on the play. Morton taking advantage of that, swinging Jensen underneath. He picks him up in the open area, and Jensen is all alone and waltzes into the end zone.
Jensen, the leading pass receiver for the Broncos this year with 33, but that's his first for a touchdown, and it cuts Houston's lead to 5. Steinfort makes it a 4-point deficit. Timeout. 2 minutes, 48 seconds remain, and the score, the Oilers 20, the Broncos 16. We'll see if Denver goes to the onside kick. First, we pause for this word. 9 men in the first 5 yards as Steinfort. He's going to kick it deep to Carl Roaches. And Roaches will take the touchback. It'll be Houston's ball at the 20-yard line. 7 plays, 73 yards in 3.5 minutes, but actually Denver appeared to lose maybe a half minute on a play out of bounds when the clock continued to run. There's 2:41 left. Denver has all 3 timeouts left to stop the clock, plus the 2-minute warning.
We talk about ball control offense. Now this is the test of ball control offense. Obviously the Houston Oilers now, with 2 tight ends in the game, with Earl Campbell in the game, only need a couple of first downs and they can eat up the clock. That's what their plan is. We'll see how well they're able to execute it.
Wilson in front of Campbell. Burrow in motion. Oops! Campbell, no play. Someone on the right side jumped too soon for Houston. Appeared to be Barber. Let's go to Earl Campbell. Merlin Olsen talked to Campbell before the game. We wondered if he really was seriously thinking about that record. Most players are very modest. Here's the answer as Merlin talked to Campbell.
Earl, you got a chance to do something kind of special today, don't you?
Oh, yeah, you know, and I'm going to be honest. I think it means something to me. It's in the back of my mind, but I think the most important thing is to play football and just kind of let that special thing happen, because I think if I go out and try to make it happen, then something might happen, you know, really bad. So I think the main thing is going to be winning the football game, and that will be the next thing after the winning the ball game.
So winning the ball game was first in his mind, but that's a rare piece of candor on the part of Campbell. He said, yes, it was on his mind. He did want to do something no one else had done before, 200 yards, 3 straight games.
A bit of irony. He was even disappointed after his 200-yard effort last week because he'd blown a couple of blocks, missed a couple of holes. He is a remarkable young man, and they're going to count heavily on him here. They obviously need his skills to control that clock, get down the field, eat it up. Denver gambling on the ability of their defense to stop Houston quickly, get the ball back. We might well see an attempt to block a kick here on their part if they can stop Houston shortly.
Well, they've used 1 timeout, Berlin. Ball's at the 20-yard line. It's 2nd down and 10. Campbell picking up 5 yards on that carry. And 20-16 the score. Now they have the 2-minute timeout. They might let Houston run this one, let the 2-minute warning serve as their next timeout, and still have 2 in the bank. Break in the action. Final minutes here in Denver. Houston leads by 4. Denver trying to get the ball back.
Alcoa can't wait.
2:28 left. Houston with the ball and the lead. 2nd and 10 at its 20-yard line. Campbell. First down at the 31-yard line. Earl Campbell running right over a Bronco who is yet to get up. Has 11 more yards and now has 146 yards today.
You want to get inside Earl Campbell's head, look into his eyes there, and watch him just level. I believe it's Steve Foley. He just ran right over the top of Foley. Foley bouncing off of the thick thighs and hips of Campbell and is still on the ground, and Earl wasn't stopped until he had gained that first down. And as we said, all they need is a couple, and they can eat up that clock and take themselves out of this ball game with a big victory.
To show you the greatness of Campbell, ladies and gentlemen, in the last 4 games, he has gained 729 yards in 4 games. Now let's go to New York and Brian Gumbel.
Brian Gumbel in New York on this one.
Well, that's good news today developing, and a very positive note after this long, long wait. We're in a 2-minute warning here in Denver. It's Houston's ball with a first down, and the Oilers lead the Broncos 20-16.
America is not going to be pushed.
Or Steve Foley wearing the glazed look of a fighter that's just taken a wicked punch after trying to stop Earl Campbell, attended to on the sidelines, has been replaced by Mike Harden. Here comes Campbell. Oh, he hasn't slowed down at all. He hit that line at full speed, and he's to the 35-yard line. Let's go back, not to this play, but the one preceding it, where Campbell runs right over Foley. Foley, he may want to go back to cornerback if he has to tackle many Campbells. Here it comes now. Foley there, hits him head on and just hardly puts a dent in Campbell, and Foley on the sidelines trying to count fingers.
That's like giving a fighter your Sunday punch right on the chin, and he just stands there and looks at you. Well, in this case, it backfired. Foley in perfect position to make the tackle, put his head right into Earl Campbell. Earl was coming with such momentum, just recoiled Foley to the ground and kept right on going as if he had hardly even been hit.
That tackle reminds me of Pete Wysocki of the Redskins, his comment on Campbell. He says, I don't know about Earl, but when you hit him, it sure does reduce your IQ.
Oh, but it also reminds me of what I had talked about earlier, wondering how in the world he gets up on Monday morning, because with that hit, I mean, he takes as much shock in his body as the defenders and tacklers do in theirs, and he's not just hitting one guy, he's hitting about 11 of them out there. That's sometimes right. 2 or 3 on a single play.
Earl Campbell, the rushing leader again in the NFL, and he's trying to do something that O.J. Simpson didn't do, Jim Brown didn't do, all the great runners. No one won the NFL rushing title his first 3 years in the league, and he's got a shot at it if he stays healthy, that's for sure. 2nd and 6, 1:53 left. Here he comes. And down he goes at the 37-yard line. Aaron Kyle from the corner into the backfield to cut down Campbell, short of the first down.
One of the questions you hear around the league from people who have watched Earl run, who have tried to tackle him, is that no question about his greatness, no question about his ability, but how long can a man who runs with such total abandon and such a lack of concern for his own physical health and well-being, how long can he last? And that's going to be an interesting question for us to ask of Earl Campbell as we watch him over the next few games and over the next few seasons.
A must play for Denver. 3rd down and 2. Time running out. And there's another first down as Campbell gets it out to the 42-yard line, and now it's academic. Denver calls time, but that is their last time out. No, they haven't. And we're down under a minute. Now Denver exercises its final timeout. 57 seconds left, but it's academic. All Houston has to do now is fall on the football. 2016 Oilers.
1.
Now watch as he is hit by 3 Broncos. He'll be straightened up. He looks to the sidelines. He says, oh, got the first down, relaxes, and says, you can push me down now. And you almost had the feeling if he needed another yard, even with 3 orange jerseys on him, he would have gotten you another yard.
Obviously, the Oilers content to run out the clock, just had Stabler go in and lay on the football. They'll do that twice more, can do it 3 times more if they wish, but they will burn out the clock here shortly and will walk away with a victory, a very important victory for them. And as I said, a game that I think they'll look back on and mark as one of the milestones of this 1980 season.
Especially in that they had a touchdown taken away from them. I want to thank Tom Murray and Al King for our player identification, statistician Joe Costanza and his crew. Great NBC team with all the pictures, Larry Cirillo, Ken Fouts. And it's been a game in which Bum Phillips would probably applaud, as anyone who appreciates football would, the talents of the man Earl Campbell. It's just been said so often, so many adjectives used about Campbell. He is truly awesome. Denver played a great game and apparently going to lose it by 4, 20-16.
Well, I'm sure that Earl Campbell made his mark with the Denver defense, and they have played, as you said, an outstanding game. An opportunity, several opportunities for them to win this game, but obviously will not happen. It ticks off. Bum making his way across the field. A good ball game, though, Dick. I've enjoyed seeing this struggle on the field today.
20-16, Houston wins it. So the Oilers will maintain a share of first place in the AFC Central. In fact, they have sole possession, depending on what happens tomorrow night when the Cleveland Browns host the Chicago Bears. Meanwhile, Denver only a game back in the AFC West, a very difficult loss for them. They drop at least 2 games behind San Diego, and if Oakland wins, Oakland and San Diego will both be 2 games in front of the Broncos.
And both of these teams go home to face tough opponents. Actually, go home to get ready for tough opponents. In the case of Houston, they're playing New England at home. This Denver Bronco team must travel off to San Diego to meet their arch rival San Diego in San Diego.
So Earl Campbell leads the Houston Oilers to another victory, 20-16 at Denver. Dick Enberg, Merlin Olsen. Let's go to these messages.
College football.